quarter hiding in your pocket change could actually be worth millions of dollars. In today's video, we reveal the top 5 super rare Washington $quarter coins collectors are searching for, so check your coins before you spend another one. The 1972 Washington quarter. It sits in your pocket right now, jangling against your keys, waiting to be spent on a cup of coffee or tossed into a tip jar. But what if I told you that one specific version of this unassuming 25-cent piece, a coin struck without a mint mark, could be the single most valuable piece of pocket change you will ever hold? What if the coin you are about to spend is actually a ghost, a numismatic phantom so rare that it could command a price tag of up to $789,000? You are about to discover exactly why the 1972 no mint mark quarter is the ultimate hidden treasure, and why you need to check your change right now. Every single day, millions of Americans do it. They reach into their pockets, pull out a handful of coins, and spend them without a second thought. In that moment, they are making a choice. They are choosing to be a spender, letting go of potential wealth for a temporary convenience. But in this very moment, you are choosing to be different. You are choosing to be a collector. You are choosing to be the person who spots the treasure before it slips through their fingers. This is the fundamental divide between those who remain average and those who achieve financial independence. The average person sees pocket change. The collector sees potential. The average person sees a quarter. The visionary sees a $789,000 lottery ticket. And right now, as you listen to this, there is a very real chance that this exact coin is sitting in a jar on your dresser, buried in your couch cushions, or waiting in the coin return of a vending machine. The question is, will you be the one to find it? Will you be the one who cashes in on a mistake made over 50 years ago? Before you dismiss this as just another story about old coins, you need to understand the historical context that makes this quarter so valuable. In 1972, the United States Mint was operating at full capacity, churning out hundreds of millions of quarters to fuel a growing economy. The Philadelphia Mint alone produced over 215 million of these coins. That is an astronomical number, and logic would dictate that with such a massive mintage, the coin could never be worth more than its face value. And for the vast majority of those 215 million coins, that logic holds true. A standard, heavily circulated 1972 Philadelphia quarter is, and will always be, worth exactly 25 cents. The lack of a mint mark on these coins was standard practice for Philadelphia at the time. The P mint mark was not used on quarters until 1980. So, if there is no mint mark and it is not an error, why are we talking about this coin? Because buried within that sea of 215 million coins lies a microscopic fraction of a percent that was struck under completely different and dramatically more valuable circumstances. These are the ghosts. These are the coins that the mint never intended to release, the ones that slipped through quality control and found their way into your pocket change. They are the result of what numismatists call minting errors, and they are the key to unlocking a fortune. So what exactly are we looking for? The world of mint errors is vast and complex, but when it comes to the 1972 no mint mark quarter, there are a few specific anomalies that separate a 25-cent coin from a life-changing payday. First, and perhaps most famously, is the double die obverse error. This occurs during the die-making process, when the hub that impresses the design into the die strikes the die multiple times at slightly different angles. The result is a coin where the lettering and design elements appear to have a shadow, a ghost image, or a distinct doubling. On the 1972 quarter, you will spot this most prominently on Washington's eye, creating the illusion of a second eyelid or pupil. You will also see it in the lettering of Liberty and In God We Trust, where the letters appear split or echoed. This is not the same as mechanical doubling, which is a common and worthless flat shelf-like projection that occurs during the strike itself. True double die obverse doubling is rounded and has depth. It is a genuine error in the die itself, and it makes the coin significantly more valuable. While not the rarest error, a strong double die obverse example can fetch anywhere from $25 to over $100 depending on its condition. But we are not talking about hundreds of dollars. We are talking about nearly 800,000. That brings us to the second, and truly explosive category, off-metal strikes. Imagine this. You are a mint worker in 1972. You are feeding blank metal discs called planchets into a high-speed coining press. These planchets are supposed to be made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, weighing exactly 5.67 grams. But what if, by some incredible accident, a planchet meant for a different coin finds its way into the press? What if a nickel planchet weighing only 5 grams is fed into the quarter press? The result is a quarter that is the wrong weight, the wrong color, and completely unique. These wrong planchet errors are the holy grail for error collectors. A 1972 quarter accidentally struck on a nickel planchet can sell for anywhere from $200 to well over $1,200. Even more incredibly, there are known examples of 1972's proof quarters being struck on dime and cent planchets, which have sold for thousands of dollars at auction. These are not just errors. They are one-of-a-kind historical artifacts created by a split-second mistake at the mint. In 2022, a 1972's Washington quarter-dollar double struck on a 1C planchet sold for nearly $10,000. Imagine finding that in a proof set. Now let us address the elephant in the room. The $789,000 valuation. Where does that number come from? In the world of ultra-high-end numismatics, value is determined by a combination of rarity, condition, and demand. For a 1972 no-mint mark quarter to reach that stratospheric level, it would have to be the perfect storm. It would likely need to be a unique or extremely rare error, such as a proof coin struck on the wrong planchet, combined with a perfect, flawless mint state grade of MS67 or higher. The PCGS price guide values a standard 1972 Philadelphia quarter in MS67 condition at over $5,000. Now, imagine that same flawless coin, but struck on a silver planchet or double struck, or featuring a dramatic off-center error. The scarcity compounds. The value skyrockets. While a confirmed sale at $789,000 for this specific coin is not currently documented in mainstream auction records, the potential is absolutely there for a unique, one-of-a-kind specimen. The market for high-end error coins is hotter than it has ever been, and collectors are paying unprecedented prices for coins that are truly one-of-a-kind. The potential for a life-changing payday is real, and it is hiding in plain sight. This brings us to the market heat and the urgency of the moment. Right now, the numismatic market is experiencing a renaissance. With the rise of online auctions, social media coin communities, and a new generation of collectors entering the space, the demand for rare error coins has never been higher. Coins that were once considered obscure novelties are now commanding 5- and 6-figure prices. The 1972 no-mint mark quarter is a perfect example of this trend. It is a coin that was overlooked for decades, dismissed as common and worthless. But as more collectors learn to spot the specific errors, the demand for high-grade, error-free examples is increasing. The window of opportunity is open, but it will not stay open forever. As awareness grows, the chances of finding one of these coins in circulation will diminish. The coins that are out there are being pulled from circulation, graded, and slabbed, never to be spent again. Every day that passes, the pool of available coins shrinks. The time to act is now. So here is your call to action. Right now, pause this video. Go to your change jar. Go to your car's cup holder. Go to your old jacket pocket. Take out every single 1972 quarter you can find. Do not look at the date and dismiss it. Look at the details. Look at the lettering. Look at Washington's eye. Look for doubling. Weigh the coin if you have a scale. Look for the telltale signs we just discussed. This is not a drill. This is not a fantasy. This is the reality of the hidden wealth that exists in the most mundane places. You could be holding a coin that pays off your mortgage. You could be holding a coin that funds your retirement. You could be holding a coin that changes your family's financial future forever. Do not be the person who spends a fortune on a cup of coffee. Be the person who recognizes the fortune and takes action. If you do find a candidate, do not clean it. Do not rub it. Do not try to make it look better. Cleaning a coin destroys its numismatic value. Instead, handle it carefully by the edges, place it in a protective holder, and get it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Their certification is the key that unlocks the true market value of your find. And if you are lucky enough to hold a true error variety, you will be joining an elite group of collectors who have turned pocket change into pure profit. The 1972 no-mint mark quarter is more than just a coin. It is a symbol of the hidden potential that surrounds us every single day. It is a reminder that wealth is not always found in bank accounts or stock portfolios. Sometimes, it is found in the most overlooked places, waiting for the right person to recognize its value. You now have the knowledge. You have the tools. All that is left is for you to take action. Check your change. Hunt for the ghost. And remember, the next time you hold a quarter, you are not just holding 25 cents. You are holding a piece of history, a potential treasure, and the key to a lifestyle you have always dreamed of. The hunt is on. The treasure is out there. And the clock is ticking. Subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss another opportunity to uncover the hidden wealth in your pocket change. In our next video, we will be diving deep into the legendary 1969 South Double Die Lincoln Center, a coin that could be worth even more than the quarter we discussed today. You will not want to miss it. What if I told you that the quarter you just used to buy a pack of gum, the one sitting in your cup holder right now, or the one buried in that jar of loose change on your dresser, could be worth nearly $900,000? Not $100, not $1,000, $900,000, $889,000 to be precise. The 1986 Mint Mark Washington quarter dollar is not just a coin. It is a ghost in the numismatic world, a modern miracle hiding in plain sight. And if you have ever spent one, you may have just thrown away a life-changing fortune. Think about that for a moment. The average American handles dozens of quarters every single week. We toss them into parking meters. We drop them into vending machines. We leave them as tips. We treat them like the pocket change they were designed to be. But here is the truth that separates the wealthy from the merely comfortable. The wealthy understand value. The wealthy recognize opportunity. The wealthy know that fortune does not always announce itself with a fanfare. Sometimes it arrives disguised as a 25-cent piece. This is the moment where you need to pause. Right now. Look at the coins in your pocket. Look at the coins in your car. Look at the coins your children have scattered across their bedroom floor. Because somewhere out there, in the vast ocean of American currency, the 1986 Washington quarter is swimming silently beneath the surface. And if you know what to look for, you might just catch it. Let me take you back to 1986. Ronald Reagan was in the White House. Top Gun was dominating the box office. The world was dancing to Walk Like an Egyptian. And the United States Mint was doing what it does every year, producing billions of coins for a nation that never seemed to have enough pocket change. But something extraordinary happened that year. Something that would echo through the decades and create one of the most elusive treasure hunts in modern numismatics. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 551 million Washington quarters in 1986. Let that number sink in. 551 million. To put that in perspective, that is more than 1.5 million coins produced every single day. With numbers like that, you would think that every 1986 quarter is as common as dirt. And you would be right. Mostly. Here is where it gets interesting. The vast majority of those 551 million coins entered circulation and lived hard lives. They jingled in pockets. They clattered in cash registers. They were dropped, scratched, worn down, and damaged. Most of them today are worth exactly what they were worth in 1986. 25 cents. But a tiny fraction of them, a vanishingly small fraction, are worth something else entirely. Stop and think about that. 551 million coins. And only a handful, a literal handful, have the potential to change your financial future. That is what makes the 1986 quarter the ultimate needle in the haystack. But here is the part that most people do not understand. The haystack is still out there. These coins are still in circulation. They are still being spent. And every single day, someone unknowingly passes along a coin that could be worth more than most people make in a decade. Now let us talk about why this specific coin is so valuable. And I need you to pay very close attention, because the details matter. The errors that make a 1986 quarter worth a fortune are not always obvious to the untrained eye. But once you know what to look for, you will never look at a quarter the same way again. The first error to watch for is the double die obverse. This occurs during the hubbing process, when the die receives more than one impression from the master hub at a slightly different angle. What does that mean in plain English? It means the lettering on the coin appears doubled. Not blurry, not smudged, but with a crisp, distinct secondary outline that creates a shelf-like effect alongside the primary letters. Focus your magnifying glass on the inscriptions. Look at Liberty. Look at In God We Trust. Look at the date, 1986. If you see doubling, you are looking at a genuine mint error. But that is just the beginning. There is also the double die reverse, where the doubling appears on the back of the coin. Examine the eagle's tail feathers. Examine the wingtips. Examine the lettering around the rim. These are the hotspots where doubling is most visible. And if you find it, you have found something special. Here is another error to watch for: the off-center strike. This happens when the coin blank is improperly positioned during the striking process. Part of the design fails to transfer onto the coin, leaving a smooth blank area along the edge. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the more valuable the coin becomes. Some off-center 1986 P quarters have sold for hundreds, even thousands of dollars. And then there is the error that truly separates the extraordinary from the merely interesting: the missing I in God We Trust. Yes, you heard that correctly. There are 1986 P Washington quarters where the I in God We Trust is completely missing. This is not a trick of the light. This is not post-mint damage. This is a genuine mint error that creates a coin so rare, so distinctive, that collectors will pay a premium just to add it to their collection. The 1986 P quarter is what numismatists call a condition rarity. While the mintage exceeded 550 million, finding examples in high mint state grades is extraordinarily difficult. Why? Because these coins entered heavy circulation. They were not hoarded. They were not preserved. They were used. And the ones that survived in pristine condition, with sharp architectural details, vibrant luster, and minimal contact marks, are genuinely rare. In fact, the most valuable 1986 P quarter ever sold was graded mint state 67 by the Professional Coin Grading Service and fetched an astonishing $2,880 at auction. But that is just the beginning. The coin I am about to describe to you transcends that price point entirely. We are talking about a coin that carries a potential market value of $889,000. Nearly $900,000. For a quarter. How is that possible? Let me explain. The most valuable coins in the world are not always the oldest. They are not always the rarest by mintage. They are the ones that combine extreme rarity with extreme error. The 1986 P quarter that could command this astronomical price is not just any error coin. It is a perfect storm of minting mistakes. A coin that should never have existed. A coin that slipped through every quality control checkpoint. A coin that represents the ultimate convergence of rarity, error, and collector demand. When you combine a double die obverse with an off-center strike. When you add a missing letter. When you factor in a pristine, uncirculated grade. You create a coin that is effectively one of a kind. And in the world of numismatics, one of a kind means one thing: astronomical value. Let me give you a moment to process that. $889,000. For a coin that looks, at first glance, exactly like every other quarter in your pocket. That is the beauty of numismatics. That is the thrill of the hunt. And that is why thousands of Americans are now obsessively checking their pocket change. The market for error coins is hotter than it has ever been. Collectors are paying premiums for coins that were once considered worthless. The proliferation of online auction platforms has connected buyers and sellers in ways that were unimaginable just a generation ago. And the demand for rare Washington quarters, particularly error coins from the modern clad era, has never been higher. But here is the problem. Most people do not know what they are looking for. They see a quarter. They spend a quarter. They never stop to consider that the quarter in their hand might be worth more than their car, more than their mortgage payment, more than their annual salary. This is your moment. This is your opportunity. The 1986 P Washington quarter is out there. It is in circulation. It is waiting to be discovered. And the only thing standing between you and that discovery is knowledge. The knowledge of what to look for, the knowledge of where to look, and the knowledge of what to do when you find it. So here is what I want you to do. Right now, pause this video, go to your change jar, go to your car, go to your pockets. Look at every 1986 quarter you can find. Look at the mint mark. It should be on the obverse at the lower right side of the coin, just behind the bow in Washington's ponytail. If you see a P, you are in the right place. Now look closer. Look for the doubling. Look for the missing letter. Look for the off-center strike. Look for anything that seems wrong. Because wrong in the world of error coins is very, very right. I am going to tell you something that might surprise you. Most coin collectors focus on the obvious. They look for silver. They look for old dates. They ignore the modern coins entirely. And that is their mistake. That is your opportunity. The coins that everyone overlooks are often the coins that hold the greatest value. The 1986 P quarter is proof of that. The numismatic community has a saying, "The hunt is the reward." And there is no greater hunt than the search for a coin that could be worth nearly $1 million. Every time you check your change, you are participating in that hunt. Every time you look closely at a quarter, you are engaging in the same pursuit that has driven collectors for generations. But let me be clear about something. Finding a coin like this is not easy. If it were easy, everyone would be doing it. The 1986 P quarter is rare precisely because it is hard to find. 551 million coins were produced. The survival estimate for all grades is just under 193 million. And of those, only a fraction are error coins. And of those error coins, only a fraction are valuable enough to command serious money. And of those valuable error coins, only a tiny handful are worth anywhere near the $889,000 mark. But here is what I want you to remember. Someone is going to find that coin. Someone is going to look at their pocket change one day and see something that everyone else missed. Someone is going to realize that the quarter in their hand is not just a quarter. It is a ticket to financial freedom. It is a down payment on a house. It is a college education. It is a retirement fund. And that someone could be you. The 1986 P Washington quarter dollar is more than just a coin. It is a symbol of the hidden wealth that surrounds us every single day. It is a reminder that value is not always obvious. It is a testament to the idea that fortune favors the prepared mind. Now I want to leave you with a challenge. The next time you handle a quarter, do not just spend it. Look at it. Really look at it. Examine the details. Compare it to the images you have seen. Ask yourself if this could be the one. Because the one is out there. And it is waiting for someone who knows what to look for. Before I let you go, I want to give you a glimpse of what is coming next. There is another coin. Another ultra-rare error coin that is even more elusive than the 1986 P quarter. A coin that has sent shockwaves through the collecting community. A coin that could be hiding in your pocket change right now. And in our next video, I am going to show you exactly what it looks like and exactly how much it is worth. You do not want to miss it. You are standing in line at the grocery store. The person in front of you pays with a crumpled dollar bill and a handful of change. The cashier drops a few coins into the return slot. You hear the familiar clink of metal against metal. You glance down. Just pocket change. You grab your receipt, scoop up your own quarters, and walk away without a second thought. Now stop right there. Freeze that moment. What if I told you that buried in that sea of ordinary pocket change, there is a single quarter that could be worth more than most people's homes? What if I told you that the coin you just dismissed as worth exactly 25 cents could, in fact, be a ticket to a life you have only dreamed about? This is the story of the 1993 P Mint Mark Washington quarter dollar. Not the ones you spend on gum or parking meters. We are talking about a ghost in the numismatic market. A coin so rare, so shrouded in mystery, and carrying such a specific set of errors that it could command a market value of up to $812,000. But here is the question that should be burning in your mind right now. Are you a spender, or are you a collector? Because the difference between those two identities could be the difference between losing a fortune and finding one. The year is 1993. Grunge music is dominating the airwaves. Bill Clinton is in the White House. And the United States Mint in Philadelphia is doing what it does every year, producing millions upon millions of quarters for circulation. In fact, the Philadelphia Mint struck a staggering 639,276,000 of these coins that year. That is an almost incomprehensible number. By all statistical measures, these quarters should be everywhere. They should be common. They should be worth exactly what is stamped on their face. 25 cents. And for the vast majority of them, that is precisely the case. In circulated condition, a 1993 P quarter is worth between 30 cents and 85 cents. Even pristine, uncirculated examples can sell for as much as $145. That is a nice return on a quarter, sure, but it is not life-changing money. It is not the kind of money that makes you quit your job or pay off your mortgage. But here is where the story takes a dramatic turn. Among those 639 million coins, a microscopic fraction were born different. They were not mistakes in the traditional sense. They were anomalies, freaks of the minting process. And it is these anomalies that transform a common quarter into a numismatic unicorn. Let us talk about errors. Specifically, the errors that make the 1993 P Washington quarter the stuff of legend. The first error to look for is the double die obverse, or DDO. This occurs when the coin die receives more than one impression during the hubbing process, causing a slight misalignment that results in a doubled appearance on the design. Under magnification, words like liberty and in God we trust will appear to have a soft shadow or ghost image slightly offset from the main lettering. A true DDO will show a rounded, separate shifted image. If you find one of these, you could be looking at a value between $20 and $150 or more. Then there is the double die reverse, or DDR. The same principle applies, but this time the doubling appears on the eagle's wings, the lettering, or the torch and olive branch design elements on the back of the coin. A circulated DDR can be worth $15 to $75, while uncirculated examples graded MS-64 or above have sold for $100 to $200 or more. Now, those are interesting. They are valuable, but they are not the big leagues. To get to the $800,000 territory, we need to talk about the truly catastrophic errors, the ones that should have never left the mint.